Let's welcome him in. Cory Hall, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm great. Just sitting here in the shop.
Amazing, to say the least, Cory. Look at the year on you and look at the race you had last night. Another beauty.
Yeah, we had a great car. We didn't really know that until kind of 40 laps into the race. Kind of struggled a little bit with the balance, and then I don't know if it just cooled off the right amount or what, but we started moving there on from lap 40 on, and got up to the lead just past lap 80 there, and drove away.
Yeah, Donald Chisholm led 40 laps the beginning of the race. The '08 car of Nicholas Noggle, he had lead for a little bit there. And trust me when I say I was watching the '83 to see how you were coming. And Cory, I could see the forward progress. The '08 car did look really, really strong last night. The 13 of Austin McDonald, another one that I was kind of watching, going, wow, look at Austin go. But nobody was going to top the '83. When you got the lead, I want to say it was, it was just after the halfway break. You got the lead around lap 80 or so. And man, there was no looking back. You were hitting your mark each and every time. Looked like the '08 stayed with you for about 20 laps. And then it just looked like another year. Man, that '83 car did not fall off at all.
Yeah, we've been kind of hitting our stride on long runs, which is definitely opposite of what is normal. Typically we have a lot of speed, and then we struggle on a long run, and that's where Ashton was significantly better last year, and we just kind of sat to trying to be better on a long run, and kind of worked hard at that, and racing down in the States, you just get such a better feel for what you're doing with the tires, and how much, and kind of just knowing what you're doing, and how it's going to correlate into a long run. So very, very happy to have these wins, and the kind of run that we've been having this year. I mean, it's been insane. I think we're up to 9 wins now. So never would have thought. That's crazy, but it definitely is cool, and it's cool to do it in different cars and just kind of keep everyone on their toes.
Well, hard work pays off. That's the end result. I do believe in this scenario. And I failed to mention the number 2 of Ashton Tucker. Yeah, he was real quick as well. But like I say, none of the field had anything for the '83 at the end of it. Cory, what can you attribute the success to? There's got to be all kinds of contributing factors into the year that you've really had. Can you narrow down and give us a couple of the, contributing factors for those teams that are out there looking, going, man, this guy's on this show each and every week. He's winning races. How does he do it? Can you give a couple of teams a tip or two here?
Yeah, I think it all starts in the shop, but I think, on top of that, we've got a lot of great guys behind us, and our crew has definitely started clicking a lot better. And going down to speed weeks, and then going down to Alabama, and doing some of these races, our core guys have really clicked together well, and it's really made our days a lot easier. We were short a few guys on the this weekend, I guess. But for the most part, everyone just kind of stays in tune and just kind of chips away at it. And, that's definitely helped a lot. I always looked at Brad Silver's team with Ashton, and they're very well put together. I mean, everyone has their moments, but they execute all the time. And I think that's key. And just kind of having a pretty good idea of what's going on. As I get more experience, a lot of it just racing down the States, running a super late for the first time. Now I have a whole other notebook to go off of on tire wear, and having all that horsepower, and just kind of the mindset, right? Just staying focused on myself, and I do not worry about anybody else, and I do not worry if we're 8th on the speed charts or if we're 1st on the speed charts. I just keep working towards the goal of having a good balanced car to try and win these races.
We're with Cory Hall tonight. Did it again out at Riverside for their final stop of the tour at Riverside. Still one to go at Riverside, but it won't feature the tour on September the 6th, their next event is. But Cory, when you have your crew put together, you've got the cars that you've got. And I do say cars because we got the white one, we got the black one. They are two totally different platforms. Are both of them on bump stops, and are both cars set up the exact same?
No, well, they're both on bump stops for sure, just entirely different ones. Definitely a different, you have different loads, you got a whole different ideology when it comes to the both of them. But, obviously with King Competition, we have a pretty good grasp on a tire and what it likes and what it doesn't like. So when it came to the Ampy car, it was a fairly smooth transition into, knowing what kind of bump stops it likes, knowing what kind of spring rates we're looking at, what kind of loads we're looking to get. And just trying to take those little things and just apply it to what we're doing. And, with the Fury car, we've got a couple of different packages that we run depending on the racetrack. Our Scotia PEI setup's very close. And then obviously the Riverside setup's very different. So this weekend, the Wednesday race, I went there with what Craig Sloan normally runs and made some changes. And then this time I went there with kind of what Ashton Tucker runs, and then made some changes, and definitely had better longevity for the 150 with what Ashton was running. So having that kind of notebook to work off of helps too, right? Where I haven't been focused with this car, but to come there and do that kind of caught me off guard as well.
Well, you definitely dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and that's cool, right? You are at the King Competition Shop, Andrew Hicken and yourself and all the guys that work there. Kind of cool when you can pull out the different notes from all the different teams. And really, it is somewhat of a Heinz 57, right? You're going to take what you want. You're going to leave what you don't. And your stuff is also available to those other competitors. It's not like Cory Hall's got the big secret.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Obviously, everyone has their driving style, and Ashton's and I's are pretty close. But I'm a lot less patient than he is most times. So, I need a little more on throttle grip than he does most times. But still, it's we always try to do the best we can, and we end up, everyone wants to know what I have, so then you put it in the car, and then. Most of the time people say I can't drive that. So we just go back to what they like to run. But, it's good to have that. And, everybody sees it and knows it. So I like to joke back and forth with Mike Rogers a little bit. He should have won one of those Scotia races. And after I won the first Scotia race of the year, I told him that I had his setup in. And, he thought that was pretty cool. So I'd like to get him back running some more, but it works well, and then everybody works well together.
Well, it's cool too. You're coming off of the summer clash at Scotia Speed World, where you did not have a good day. You had a real bad day. It was a bad points day. It was all of that. And for you, coming off a huge successful run, getting really your ass handed to you in that one, you licked your wound, said, that's enough. I'm going to go back to the stuff that I want to do. And presto, you hit Riverside and right back to where you were.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You can't fixate on things, but you need to learn, right? So obviously the battery failure, that was, on me. It was dead in PEI, and it made it the whole, before practice, it was dead. Charged it up, I made the whole 150. I thought it was fine. Obviously, at lap 200, it gave out, so it wasn't fine. So that's definitely on me. But then on top of that, we just had a bad weekend. We just kind of missed it, had a rear end failure, and we were just struggling, trying to get ahead. And the track was very different from what we had been running. So kind of what we had wasn't working, and we made a lot of changes and just couldn't get it there. But we finally got a decent piece, I think, for that last run, and then I made a mistake, and I obviously ran over Cole, and that set me back as well. And then obviously the battery took me out of the race. But if I were to just move on and act like that didn't happen, obviously I could do something like that again. So you need to examine and see where you went wrong and why you went wrong. And I was having a bad weekend, and I made bad choice, and you kind of regroup and focus on to the next one. So, and with the same thing, you examine when you do well. So, the last Riverside race, I liked the way I ran the race, and I knew this was going to be about the same. Just going to have to start further back, right? So,
Yeah.
kind of played it basically the exact same and fired when we needed to, and gave Nicholas the bottom, and just waited him out, and then we were able to kind of get a gap and move on.
Well, you come out of Riverside with the Fort Garry Industries Pro Stock Tour point lead. I don't know how many. I was trying to catch it with Tim there. Kind of looks, I guess, between 6 and 8 points, somewhere around what you'll have as a point lead right now. Have you looked at it, or do you care?
I don't really know. I don't pay too much attention. I knew I had a lead, and then I lost it all in the summer clash, and now I'm trying to get it back. So I think we are. Yeah, I know we are in the lead now. I just don't really know how much. Obviously, it would have been better if Nicholas would have held on to second, but kudos to Ashton for making it up and keeping it tight. Obviously, you want to have those battles, and he keeps me sharp and working hard and trying to be better. No different than I assume I do the same for him. So it puts a lot of hours in the shop to try to keep up with everybody else that's running, but we're doing our best.
Well, you're nailing it. You're lighting the lamp, whatever adjectives you want to use, you're doing it, and that's cool. Next up for you is PEI. Are we going to be black? Are we going to be white? Which one are we going to take?
I guess we'll have to see. But we won with both, so it's just whatever we feel like taking. I guess. Unfortunately, PEI is pretty rough, so we don't like to mark up the white card too much. But we'll see. Next weekend we're going to run the Oxford 250 with Jeremy Ward first, so we'll do that, and then the next one, locally is definitely going to be Scotia or Oyster Bed, which I'm excited about. But the chances of winning every single race at the racetrack is very slim. So I'm a little nervous, but we'll see.
Well, I'm not nervous at all sitting here. I've got a guest lined up, and you're pretty well surefire bet each and every time so far. Cory, it's been great watching you, and much continued success. I love seeing it when hard work pays off, and it is paying off. We've had you on since day one, and I remember when Cory Hall struggled. I remember when 99 was winning everything, and everybody was saying, oh, look at that guy. Now, Craig Slonwhite, other than the Midsummer Clash, he hasn't won anything other than that race. And, good on him for winning it. And you have just been, it is so hard to replicate after you do it. It's like the Eagles, right? I remember watching the history of the Eagles and Don Henley and Glenn Fry saying, we've had good success, but the hard thing to do is come out with another hit and keep doing it. Well, they were able to do it for a lot of years. And, Cory, you've had a great summer. You got to keep it going.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. And obviously, within competition, we've been able to have continued success that way. But personal-wise, obviously we have customers that hit their stride and take off. And then, everyone almost seems to have their year. Last year, aside from PEI, I couldn't do anything right to catch Ashton. Obviously, we won the Mike Stevens, and that was great. But, a lot of times trailing him, wondering what we're doing wrong, and kind of hit the gate running here locally. And, I just keep attributing that to kind of the mindset change and just running on top of that, running on racetracks that I'm probably better suited for. If we were to race a tour that ran Petty and 660 all the time like we were last year, well, that's a different story, right? So,
right.
So far running Riverside and Scotia, we've kind of got that figured out in Oyster Bed. So that's definitely helped as well. But I'm excited, and obviously with the Pro Stock Tour, we'll be heading to Petty, so that'll be a great battle too.
Oh, man, I can't wait. It's off the hook. Final question for you, and then we're going to cut you loose. I couldn't help but notice last night the Super Late Model Series, and congratulations to Devin Snell for going to victory lane at Speedway 660. But the Super Late Model Series and the Pro Stock Tour scheduled on the same day to race, and there's 150s at both. Does that kind of stuff just drive me nuts, or does it drive you nuts too?
Yeah, first of all, huge congrats to Devin and his whole team. You love to see that. They work hard, and certainly not funded like a lot of other teams. So you want to see that, and that's good for the sport. So huge congrats to them. And I guess it's just different. The Pro Stock Tour and the Super Late Series has different runners. So it was unfortunate. I think it was a rain date. I don't think it was actually scheduled at the start of the year.
No, but the Riverside one was scheduled. That's what I'm getting at. You know, like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to pull out the schedules and say, okay, we're going to make up a date, but let's not do it over top of one that's already. It just frustrates the living daylights out of me, and it's not right for the race teams and for the race fans. That's got to be part of the equation when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I think honestly that's more of it is the fans. People want to watch racing and they love racing, and I think that's great. And you need to have that. Having series compete at the same time obviously is not good. 2 years ago, the Pro Stock Tour scheduled their race against Super Late Series that was already scheduled. And then, flip-flopped, and now they're doing the opposite. Does that make it okay? No, obviously not. Do we want to see that? Not at all, because it creates a divide. Obviously, Andrew was up in 660 with our customers up there, and I was down in Riverside. And, it creates a divide, and I obviously didn't have much crew because of that. So it's just, it makes it hard. It's hard on racing, but there's only so many weekends in a year, so it is hard having a 10 race tour and a 6 race tour. Then you have all your 250s on top of that. So, it makes it tough for sure. So hopefully they can kind of work that out. And I'd like to see my idea, and I could be told I'm an idiot, is co-sanctioned races. I think that's a great idea. I'd love to see it. Definitely at Hetty and Oyster Bed and some of these tracks that we can do that, and it would be great to have 30-car fields again. I mean, that's what the fans want to see, and that's what racing needs. You want the best of the best to be at every single race. So we'll see how next year looks, but hopefully something like that could work.
Amen. Hit those sponsors, and then I got to get to Cole Butcher. Good on you. Hit those sponsors up, because I know they mean a ton.
Oh, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be here without them and all my great supporters. So huge thank you to Chris Fournier, Remax Bumper to Bumper, King Competition, Midcoast Excavation, Livingston Steel, Robbie's Towing, Driveline, King Freight Lines, B2B Construction. GS Racing has been with me right from the start. Point Design for making this thing always look fantastic. Rural Works, Auto Sales, they came on this year and have been great. And obviously Picket Care. So huge thanks to all those guys and everybody behind the scenes, crew, all the guys at King Competition that work on this thing and keep me going.
Huge thanks to you, Cory Hall, for making it out here for all of us here tonight, as you always do. Good luck. We'll catch up with you after the PEI race. Good luck at Oyster Bed. Go get him, kid. Keep her rolling.
That's the plan. Thank you, Joe.
You bet. That is Cory Hall right there in the 83 car. Oh, man, I tell you what, he is hitting it. He's hitting it. They're doing their homework. Ashton Tucker said it beautiful last night. Damn. He has got a horseshoe up that rear end of his, and he's waiting for it to fall out. And when it does, Ashton Tucker is going to be right there to capitalize. You can almost guarantee it.